Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Two Hands in a Radio. Correction, make that two frozen hands in a radio. It's chilly out here today. Okay, I'll stop warming my hands up. What a dandy we have today. The Sangean ATS 802 AM/FM shortwave radio, long wave, and you say, two hands. I've never heard of a Sangean ATS 802. Now, don't worry, little fellas, I've not heard of it either. And little gals. See, you can't say little fellas anymore without throwing the little gals in there, or then the outrage culture will rise up. So I covered them both. Fellas and gals. I've not heard of this one either. Wow, this person on eBay wanted way too much for this radio, and I watched it for a long time, and finally they dropped it down to way too much, and I got it. Not even gonna say how much. It was too much, but I had to have it. It's like I said, I've not heard of this one, and heard of the 803 and the 808 and the 909 and all that stuff and all those iterations. There is out there somewhere is an ATS 801 that is a lot like this, only not quite as good as this. I digress, but here's the box. This thing, what caught my eye with this and why I paid so much for it, I don't know if it's ever been used. It comes with, did I leave it? No, I didn't leave them at home. It comes with, I looked and I said, whoa, it's got a cassette. No, these are stereo headphones, fold-up headphones. Stereo headphone things. Looks like they're still shrink-wrapped, maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to mess with them. But it comes with that. We have inside the box also, looks like we have the still sealed operating instructions and the warranty papers and everything here. That's cool. Not gonna mess with that. And then the radio itself, while I get organized here, it's in a little pouch. It's like almost like suede or something. It's a very different pouch. It's got a little loop here that you put the flap in. We'll just get into it, and a handy dandy wrist strap that will always stay on. And here it is. I have looked for information about this thing, and I have no idea. There's nothing on this. Crazy, crazy cool radio. Looks fairly simple to use. Like I said, I've just got it yesterday, and I thought we've got to take a look at it. 7 inches wide, 4.5 inches tall, 1.25 inches thick. It's got 25 memory, digital tuning system. Of course, it has a fantastic alarm clock and wrist strap. Anyway, front end of it looks, I don't know, this looks 1988-ish, something like that. I don't know. It's just that look and the font and like that is maybe in the 80s, somewhere in there. I haven't set the clock, not going to. It's about 11:10 in the morning. South Central Indiana, I'm not going to mess with the clock, because then when I mess with the clock, the alarm will inadvertently get set and then it'll go off in the middle of the night, and that really destroys me. We've got a light button up here. Nobody can see that. It does work real dim, but it works. Lock. I mean, it's a positive on-off switch to lock. Stereo light, battery light. Of course, there's our display here. Clock right now because it's not on. We have a display mode that when it is on, we can display the clock or the frequency. We have all of our memory presets here. We're not going to mess with that in this video. I do very little with memories. Not that I don't care about memory, but it just, we don't mess with it. It says 25 memory, so it's 5 per each one of these. store clear, and it does have a sleep timer on it. If you want to set this and take a snooze or whatever, in 30 minutes it'll shut off by itself. The scan switch, manual and auto, it's very interesting. When you kick it to auto and you hit up, it will start to scan by itself. We'll take a look at it because I haven't used it in auto yet. Manual is manual. You get to manually tune. The only way to tune is these two buttons, up and down right here, and it's like 1 kilohertz at a time, and it's really interesting. And FM is like 0.05 kilohertz maybe, or megahertz or something. Wow, it's really fine-tuned is what I'm trying to say. We've got a power on off auto. I suppose you could set the alarm to automatically come on with the radio, but on and off. Band, long wave, medium wave, short wave, and FM. Long wave probably won't do much for us out here in the US. Medium wave, short wave, FM. We have mono and stereo function mode, tone, high and low. I've got it set on high. We'll just see what happens. The right hand side, we have a volume switch. We'll set that to 11 and see what happens. No pun intended. On the back side, we have, it's always interesting, some of these older receivers always put like a memo paper back here that you could fill out. You know, my medium wave #1 station is such and such or whatever. Kind of neat, kind of, I'm not a person to write on radios and things. I'm not a person to write on anything like that, really. We've got our frequencies here. 10 kilohertz is 530 to 1620. I hope this is set on 10 kilohertz. I don't know that I've checked much, but we'll find out. FM, regular stuff there. Long wave, we don't care. Short wave is 5.8 to 15.5. Very short on the frequency range. Not all bad. Not all bad. It's okay. We've got a teeny, tiny little world map there with the clock. I know I've changed up to show batteries and installations and like that. This is so fragile and so hard to get shut that I'm just going to tell you, when you're looking at the back of the radio, obviously with the antenna up, and you're just flipping it around from the front of the radio upright to the back of the radio, there's 2 rows of batteries, 2 positive on, 2 AA on top, 2 AA on bottom. The 2 on top, the positive goes to the left. On the bottom, the positive go to the right. And I don't want to break something by trying to pop this back open too many times. It seems kind of fragile. Left hand side, we have a stereo headphone jack, DC adapter, which wasn't included. And we're back to the front, but you got to see the coolest stuff. You're saying already, with 2 hands, there's no kickstand. I don't like it. Oh, but wait. This is the 80s when we had some quality, neat stuff. I love these little gear legs, whatever, and just hold it up just like that. How cool is that? That's just sweet. Gotta love it. Anyway, let's get into this thing. We got a lot of work to do. It has a 29-inch antenna. It also pulls up and will swivel all the way around. You can lay this flat and have the antenna straight up, which is very, very handy. And let's just take a look at some things, see what we got here. And let's start out. Oh, let's start out FM. Holy cow!
Where the president and the vice president were at a table, a conference, whatever it was.
Here's that where it's like 93.15, 93.2.
Vice president was to the left at that, and at one president.
It's interesting. And then we can turn it to auto, hit the button, and it beeps. It's got a quiet, neat little beep as it tunes. And I don't know if you heard that or not. It's like Lost in Space kind of beep or something. Not loud, not abrasive, just kind of cool little beep. I like it. and then it rolls to the
Plus,
next.
save 10% on wood. Get in touch.
You see it, and you can scan, and then you can also fine tune it then. There's a lot of FM stations it's picking up. Can't hover too long. The copyright police will get us. Let's look, 98.5. Wow, that is awesome. Absolutely. Let's see if we can go back just quickly. There's low. Hopefully that's okay. It's an older song, so we should be okay. 99.5. That's Indianapolis. That's just outrageous. Well, let's get into medium wave stuff now. And this is the one that you can just one at a time. I said it. There's Cincinnati.
Hang up. Billy's going to put you on hold, and he'll tell you how to get your BlackBerry.
There's our local station.
Local independent American Standard.
1070. I love the beep. I love the beep.
Interval services for a bar for half hour will be.
And of course, if you're going to do it correctly, you go to every 10 kilohertz and you rotate the radio around and do all that. I don't want to create a 2-hour video of that. People will go to sleep, and that outrage culture mentioned before will rear up and get all nervous. But you can get a good idea. The medium wave is awesome on that. Honestly, I don't think this thing's even been used. So let's start out. Shortwave starts out at that magical 5.8. That's where it starts. Let's just fire it up and let it run and see what we can find. I'm curious as to how this goes. Is it continuous, or is it just, what is it?
Flow as well through Mississauga, Winston Churchill to Mississauga Road, and then our ways map.
Oh gosh, gotta love it. Absolutely gotta love this thing. What a radio. Yeah, let's get something at 6.3 megahertz and 11 o'clock in the morning. No big deal. I'll just roll through and see. And of course we could take up a lot of time by just one click after the other trying to find stuff. And just depending on what you're in the mood for, I'm just kind of in the mood just to show it off and show what it can do and how it does. It is continuous. Look at that thing just roll right into the 8 megahertz range, and there's no skippy here. Cool, it's rather quick. We'll just kind of chat while it does that. Of course, you know what I'm going to do here shortly. And just as a comparison,
Let it be known.
brother stairs everywhere. Be interesting to see if it gets 10 megahertz WWV. Should. Very strong. Yeah, gotta love it. Next stop will be 15, I'd say. Not the next stop for this, but it would be interesting to see it stop at 15 megahertz. Don't know this morning. Quartz PLL synthesized receiver with 25 memory preset. Very, very interesting little radio. It's not lightning quick on the scan, but it is pretty good. There you go. That just wasn't quite strong enough to trip the search. We'll go on and see here. Ooh, that was strong. I kind of hit the button a little too fast on that. It was really strong. Well, that's okay. When you're making videos of these radios,
well, I have to say that all these sectors are highly competitive.
You're really happy when it only goes from like 5.8 to 15, because it gets a little laborious just waiting. You know, if you're at home and you're in your recliner and you're kicked back and you're warm, you know, there's nothing wrong with just sitting there going like this. And sometimes I do that, and it takes a long time. But it's 45 degrees out here and a little chilly. First chilly day we've had in quite a while. And so it's nice to roll through it fairly quickly. Oh, it didn't stop at 15, did it? I don't know if we can go back to it. Okay, so you can scan kind of to where you want to go and then hit the button and stop it and ease up on it. I can barely hear it. While I'm here, let's just do this. Bring out our 20-foot sloper. See, we'll clip that on and see if it makes any difference. Yes, it does, doesn't it? Oh, gotta love it. Gotta love it. You could hear the difference that makes. That's probably Radio Havana, Cuba, maybe. Possibly. And that's as high as it goes. And then it doesn't go back around. The only thing you can do is go down now. That's interesting. Well, let's just roll back through it. Now we've got the 20-foot, 25-foot, probably 20-foot sloper hooked up to it. We've already seen the difference that it can make. Let's just see what it does going back through this. We'll get into the 20-meter band stuff here shortly. Like right now, so that may be sound. No, I thought maybe it'd sound garbled. That's cool.
Things would move at a normal pace.
I don't think we heard that before. There's a lot of stations we haven't heard. The next one I'd like to see is 12 megahertz, because it skipped over. It was just kind of a weak station, and it skipped over it.
To make major decisions until they see how things work.
It skipped over it. It just wasn't enough to trigger the stop. It'll be interesting to see if it stops on this now. Coming up, just 12 megahertz flat. Now, let's just see if it's a little louder than what we had. Maybe a good station to demonstrate. There's without the antenna. And there's with the antenna. Still not very strong, but there is a difference. You can hear a difference. That's interesting to me. My goodness, what a radio. Oh, what a radio. I still think the Texan PL880 would probably smoke it to death, but this is a dandy. See what it does. It's probably some RIDI maybe, or FT8 stuff. There's with the antenna. There's really no difference on that one. It's just booming in, that's for sure. Yeah, that 10140, I don't know if it's RIDI or FT8 or I'm not sure what it is. I'm slowly starting to learn about the digital stuff, the FT8 and the RIDI and decode CW and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting. Probably will have a lot of time this winter to study all that stuff. And I'm just starting to get brave enough that I'd like to learn Morse code, CW. I think that could be interesting. Who knows? There's probably CHU, maybe is what it's called. The Canada WWV. That's coming in pretty strong. We're almost done.
I think normal is somewhere.
My goodness. That might be FT8. I just don't know. I don't know by listening to it. I apologize for my ignorance. Found something down in here too, I thought. Okay, and it's back down in the beginning now, and just stopped. How absolutely cool. What a radio. Oh, what a find. Anyway. This was funded with donations into my PayPal, and it's a great time to pass the hat. This is the only way I could have bought this radio, is with donations. And down below the description box is a link that takes you to PayPal. You can donate $1, $2, 100, whatever you feel like you want to do. You know, if you want to take a look at an ICOM IC7300, $1,000 will do. I'm just teasing. No, I'm not teasing. Hey, if somebody wants to do it, I'll be happy to. We'll have a class on the 7300. I digress. But you can donate whatever you feel inspired to do. $1, $2, whatever. People say, and I've read the comments, well, two hands, I'd like to give, all I can give is $1, but I know it won't do any good. Nay, nay, I say. If 20 people feel that way, if 20 people and all they have is $1, there's our next radio to look at. There's strength in numbers. And that's why I have that donation button down there. Is all that money goes to buy radios like this that we can take a look at, and it's because of those donations that I was able to get this. And I think it's a great radio, absolutely fantastic. We may have to try to figure out some nighttime stuff somehow or something with this, and do additional videos and kind of get a little deeper into this one. It's that good. It's a great radio. Anyway, the donation button's down there. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Share it. Share the video. If you like the video, share it with all your social stuff. And you never know that person that you've been friends with may be interested in radio and you have no idea. So share it. It might even, somebody might say, ooh, I'd like to take a look at radio or something, and get somebody interested in the hobby. So share it. Feel free to comment below. Tell me what you think of the Sangean ATS 802. Unbelievable radio. If you can find one, you would be very happy with said radio, that's for sure. And that's all I got. I think we covered it all in rather quick fashion. Beautiful, beautiful radio. Wow. Thank you to all the people that donated that made this possible too. I appreciate each and every one of you. I don't know if I say that enough or not, but I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the support. Every subscriber, all 1,900 and some. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I never in my wildest dream would have thought more than 3 people would ever like my channel. It's a little odd, a little quirky, a little weird. It's not professional. There's no pyrotechnics or theatrics, and there's no script. And we're out in the middle of a cornfield on the bed of a truck. And, you know, who in the world would like this? But a bunch of you do, and I really appreciate it. And I really mean that. That's all I got. Hope you enjoy the day, and we'll see you at the next review.